Hi everyone, welcome to the Canal Winchester Local Schools CCP information session for the 2021 and 2022 school year. My name is Deidre Muse and I am a school counselor with Canal Winchester Local Schools. I have been in charge of the CCP program for about 3 years now, and I will be doing the presentation for you today. For next school year, which is the 2021-2022 school year, Ms. Sidlak will be taking over for me for the CCP program. So her information will be at the end of the presentation if you have questions or need to contact her. We will get started now with the presentation. So what is College Credit Plus? College Credit Plus is Ohio's dual credit program. So that is where students can earn high school credit and college credit at the same time. Students enroll in college courses and adhere to the requirements of the college, but they also get the credit from the college and it gives them credit at the high school. So it's a pretty cool program that gives a lot of flexibility and allows students to earn both high school and college credits at the same time. It is for students in grades 7 through 12, and students must complete placement exams in order to be determined eligible for the courses. So the placement exams depend on which college you want to attend, but generally speaking, like every college has their own placement exams, and most of them also they will allow you to submit the ACT or SAT instead of a placement exam if you have those scores. So you may apply to any public college or participating private college in the state of Ohio. So that's pretty cool that you can really have a lot of different options here. And you can also apply to multiple institutions. So we've had students do classes at OU Lancaster, and then also at the same time do classes at Columbus State, because some schools offer different things and they've wanted to take advantage of both of the college's offerings. So it is a possibility to do that. You just have to make sure that you are able to be accepted into both colleges and complete the requirements for both colleges. You also must be an Ohio resident to participate in the College Credit Plus program. So students may choose from a variety of college level courses, and that depends on the placement testing, how well you do on that, and what eligibility rules there are. So you can't automatically jump into like a fourth level of chemistry when you're in 10th grade. You have to start at the bottom and work your way up, which that is pretty common sense knowledge, but I wanted to say it just so that students don't think that they can just rush into these courses that are way too difficult when they haven't done the foundation level courses. You can earn credit to satisfy both high school and college requirements. 1 3-hour credit course at the college will equal 1 high school credit at the high school. So students who take like English 1100, it's worth 3 credits for their college. It will transfer into their high school transcript as 1 credit of English. So it's pretty cool that it can meet both requirements for putting it towards the college degree at the college and also towards your high school diploma and meeting those Ohio graduation requirements. You must successfully complete and pass courses in order to earn credit. So you're not going to get credit for a college course that you did not earn the credit for. So make sure you pass your courses for those classes. You may take the classes during the summer, fall, and spring semesters. So with the college, next school year starts in the summer. So if you plan to take classes next school year, you can take advantage of that in the summer, the fall, and next spring. You may take college courses or you may take the college courses at CWHS on college campus or online. You also may take advantage of any classes that are offered through the colleges. So the courses offered at CWHS are through Columbus State. So with that, you would need to do the Columbus State process of being accepted and getting into the program. CCP eligibility. Students must be eligible for the College Credit Plus program by showing that they are ready for college level courses. And that would be based on that placement testing we talked about earlier, which could be the ACT, SAT, the AccuPlacer, or ALEX tests, which are offered by Columbus State. Or if you choose another college besides Columbus State, whatever tests that they require you to take. Each college, university may have different placement requirements, and colleges and universities will review the students' scores using statewide standards for their college. For college admission, students must apply for admission to the college or university as a CCP student. They will not apply as an incoming freshman. On the applications, it will specifically state that it is either a CCP student application, or it'll have a box that says that you will check that says, are you a CCP student, yes or no? You can contact each individual college to learn about their specific requirements, if there's what the process is for the college, and then also any paperwork and deadlines. You don't want to delay on the deadlines because some of them sneak up pretty quickly. Specifically, Ohio State, they have an early deadline, and I believe that their CCP deadline is May 1st. So if you are looking at doing Ohio State, that's normally the first deadline, and you would need to have all of your documents in that they require by that point. So don't delay on getting in contact with the colleges and getting your paperwork processed. Colleges have the final decision on student admission. In my experience, the way that the colleges do it is that the students are admitted based on how they admit their incoming freshmen. So if you are a student who does well in high school and you're on the right track, then your admissions should go smoothly for you. So they really look at how they admit incoming freshmen. Ohio State is a more competitive college versus Columbus State, where it is not so competitive. So just be ready for the normal admission standards that they would use for all of their students. So for course registration, if the student is considered eligible and has been admitted to the college, then the college will discuss the course options with the student. And that would be based on the assessment scores, the prerequisites of the courses, and any other requirements that there are for their specific courses. That all goes through the college advisors as far as helping students select the correct courses. Every college is so different in what they have to offer. And so school counselors can certainly answer very general questions, but for more specific questions about specific courses at a specific college, that would all go through the advisor. Some CCP programs work closer with students than other programs, so that might be something to take into consideration as you are exploring your options. So what courses can a student take? CCP courses can satisfy high school graduation requirements. School counselors can help students understand what the high school graduation requirements are, and then also how to substitute the CCP courses for that. It's a pretty it can be pretty simple, but it also can get very complex. So, for example, an English course at the college will most likely count for an English course at the high school. But if you take something like, I don't know, like a business course, for example. The business course would fall under the elective category. It wouldn't be able to be substituted for like an English or a math credit. So you would need to talk to your school counselor about that when it comes to questions regarding the high school graduation requirements. They can certainly guide you in the right path for that. College advisors will help students know which courses they can take. We already kind of discussed this, I guess, but placement scores, prereqs, and college course eligibility rules. Some courses are only offered for specific programs, and students must be in those programs to take them. That doesn't happen too often, but it can. Students must complete their first 15 credits in level 1 courses, which include transferable courses. So those are courses that will go pretty much any college in the state of Ohio, especially any public college. Courses in IT, computer science, anatomy and physiology, foreign language, those are all level 1 courses. And courses that are part of a technical certificate, if you are looking at going that route. Courses that are a part of a 15 or 30 credit hour pathway would be included in level 1 courses, and courses in study skills, academic, or career success would be considered level 1 courses. So there's a lot of options there. Transferable courses, going back to the top there, that would include any like basic English, like your composition courses, and your basic math classes, a biology class, all of that sort of things that are like gen ed courses. Level 2 courses, once a student completes the first 15 credit hours in level 1, they can move to a level 2 course, which are any other allowable college course for which the student meets the prerequisites. So a lot of the barriers are removed there. After you complete your first 15 credit hours at the level 1, once you move to level 2, you can you really have a lot more flexibility into what classes you can take at the college. Non-allowable courses include private applied courses with one-on-one instruction. So that would be like a music lesson course. Anything that has that one-on-one instruction would not be included. Courses with high fees would not be included. Study abroad courses, physical education courses, pass-fail graded courses. So you can't take a class that is just graded pass-fail. It does not include any remedial courses. So if you need a remedial course, then you need to just take whatever class it is at the high school and not be in a college level course. And it also doesn't include any religious courses. So you can take like survey of religions courses, but you cannot take a specific course that promotes a certain religion. The grades. So what other requirements are there? The grade earned in the college course is the same grade that will be on the high school transcript. So if you earn a B in the college course, then you will earn a B on your transcript. CCP course grades will be factored into the high school and college GPAs, so you will get a little bit of a bump for taking that harder course. CCP classes are weighted on the high school transcript. So like I said, you would get that weight to the course, which would improve your GPA if you did well. For graduation requirements, students may take CCP courses in subject areas that will satisfy graduation requirements. So once again, that would be like an English class for an English class or a math class for a math class. Students must work with school counselors to ensure that they are meeting any mandatory testing or other high school graduation requirements. So just because you're in CCP courses, it does not mean you are exempt from the graduation requirements at all. It is even more important that you pay attention to the high school graduation requirements, you check your credits, and you make sure that you have everything you need in order to graduate, because most likely if you're participating in CCP, you may be off campus, you may be taking classes online, so you really have to be diligent to make sure that you have met the requirements for the state of Ohio to graduate. So work with your school counselor if you have any questions about what those requirements are, and they can provide the information for you. Students must satisfy all Ohio graduation requirements. Maximum credits. So this is a little confusing to explain, but I do have the equation there in the middle of the page. Students may be enrolled in up to 30 semester credit hours per year, including the high school courses. So what you do to get the math on this, to calculate your max credits, you take 30 minus your high school credits times 3 equals the max CCP credits you're allowed. So let's say that you are taking, let's say 3 high school credits. So you're taking an English class, a math class, and a government class at the high school. So you're taking 3 classes at the high school next year. So it would be 30 minus, and then you would do 3 high school credits times 3. So that would be 9. So 30 minus 9 equals 21. So you would have 21 max CCP credits. So that is how you calculate the max credits. And what that means is those 21 credits that we just discussed in our example, the 21 max credits you would have, you could take up to 21 credits at the college. At the college. So that would be like if they were all 3 credit hour classes, you could take up to 7 classes next school year at the college, and that would equal an overall amount of 30. Now, you don't have to use all 30 by any means, but if you were to take 8 classes and let's say 24 college credits when your max is 21, you would owe the school, you would have to pay for those extra 3 credit hours that went above the 30 credits that you are allowed as the grade total. So if you have questions about that, please let us know. But we do try to calculate that and watch for any issues. But it also is your responsibility to make sure you don't go over that 30. And the equation is actually on the registration form. So you can do the math there if you need to, or feel like you're running out of max credits. Each student will have a different number of max CCP credits based on the number of high school courses they take. That is correct, because every student takes different classes. So in the example, I said that the student was going to take an English, a math, and a government class. Well, some students might take 4 high school classes or 5, or they might not take any high school classes and do all CCP. So you really have to be careful and do the calculation for yourself based on what you think your schedule will look like next year. And then once you get into next year, go ahead and recalculate once your schedule is set to make sure that you don't go over that credit and that credit allowance and end up owing the school money. The maximum number of credits allowable over the entire program is 120. So that would be like college credits. The max amount of college credits would be 120. I haven't seen any students hit that number yet, but it is possible, especially if you start when you are young, to get close to that. If a student enrolls in more than 30 credit hours for the year, it is the student's responsibility to drop the course or pay for the entire course, and that includes the tuition, the fees, the books, or anything else that goes with the course at the college's standard tuition rates. So that's why it's super important that you always make sure that your max credits are correct and that you don't go over the max credits allowed for you. Students are responsible for ensuring the max credits do not exceed their max credit limit. So, like I said, we do keep track of that to the best of our ability, but it ultimately falls on the student, as they are the ones that are responsible to pay that bill if they go over. What are differences between high school and college? So this is kind of on a big scale. Some of the differences: the homework and high school level courses ranges between like 1 to 3 hours per day. So, for example, like an English class at the high school, most likely a student would have like 1 to 3 hours a day of English homework. At the college level, an English class might be 2 to 3 hours of homework for every hour spent in class. So that could be like 3 to 5 hours per day, which is that's a huge difference compared to the high school homework. Knowledge acquisition, information provided is mostly in class at a high school. There's not a whole lot of like out of class research and out of class learning, but at the college level, coursework is generally required to be more independent thinking, longer writing assignments, a lot of out of class research. So there's a big difference there with how students are learning. And, if you choose to take college classes, you are expected to have those skills and develop those skills in order to be successful. For the grading at a high school, normally there's numerous quizzes, tests, and homework assignments, but in college classes, there's generally fewer tests with more writing assignments and projects. So kind of fewer assignments, but they count for more. So it's important that students are able to pace themselves, to not procrastinate, which is very hard for high school students, but also have the time to complete all of the work and just pay attention to the courses and make sure you don't get behind on all of it. So the role of the parents. In high school, parents are more involved and work closely with the teachers and counselors. We do a lot of phone calls and emailing with parents and communicating constantly with the parents at the high school. With college classes and college courses, college schools, all of it, parents serve more in a mentoring role. And they support the student, but the college views the student as an independent decision maker. So if you have a 15-year-old that you are sending into the CCP program, it would be expected that the college is going to view you as the parent as a mentor, and the student will take sole responsibility for all decisions that are made. So, there's a lot of implications there. The biggest one is that the student is pretty much treated like an adult at the college. So they would be treated just as if they were any college student. It doesn't matter whether they are CCP or if they are a 40-year-old college student. They are all treated the same in college. So for the college, there is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. It is called FERPA, and it protects the student education records from being accessed by anyone other than the student. So if mom wants to call in to the college because there's an issue with a professor, the college will say, well, I don't know who you are. I can't tell you if this student's a student. So they pretty much will hang up on you. Like they cannot help you. Where the student, if the student has an issue, the college will work with the student to solve the issue, to get in contact with the professor, and all of the communication. So, and we have to be careful too at the high school, because even if you have a student that is taking a college course at the high school, the high school teachers that are teaching that college course are considered college professors at that point. So if you sign your kid up for, let's say, English 1100, and you want to call the teacher about it, the teacher cannot talk to you about how the student is doing in the course because it is a college course owned by Columbus State, and that would violate the FERPA law. So the student would have to talk directly with that teacher to get the problem solved. And that's the same if a parent were to contact me about their student struggling in a CCP class. I can provide general information, but I cannot say anything about how the student is or is not doing in the course because it is a CCP course. So some responsibilities for students and parents. The student must obtain college and university acceptance. They must meet all standards of the college courses. They must meet all attendance requirements at the high school and at the college. Students or parents, I guess, must provide all transportation for CCP classes. So the high school will not provide any transportation for the classes if you sign up for a class at a college. You must know what college courses will meet the requirements for high school graduation. So that's something that if you are questioning, you should talk to your high school counselor about. And you will be responsible to obtain information from the high school relative to graduation and just generally like what's going on at the high school. So that would be prom, cap and gown, any dances, announcement, ordering, all of that stuff. You would just need to continue to check your high school email and make sure to stay up to date with what's going on at the high school. What are the benefits of participating in College Credit Plus? So earning high school and college credits at the same time is a huge benefit. That's probably the biggest one because you're basically like double dipping almost, where you're getting your English credit done at the high school, but you're also marking it off for the college so that you can get your degree sooner. You also get a head start on college degrees and certificates. You get to experience the college life a little bit early to understand the expectations of college courses and, just kind of figure out like if that's what you want to do. You can also save on tuition and textbook costs because the high school pays for those materials. So it really can be a huge benefit if it is right for your student. Some of the consequences of being in CCP classes, if the student fails or withdraws too late from the college course, the district will require students and families to repay the cost of tuition that the district had paid. So if a student fails a class, it will go on to their high school fees, and the student will have to pay back the fee for that course because they failed it. And that is super important to know because we have had that happen where students fail a course and then we're not able to issue their diploma, or there's other issues that go along with that because they haven't paid that fee. So only take a course if you absolutely know that you are going to work hard and that you are going to pass that course. The grades that the student earns will be on the transcripts permanently. So if a student gets a not so good grade in a course, it will be on the college transcript forever, and it will also be on the high school transcript. There is College Credit Plus probation that sometimes we have a couple students on. They are placed on probation if they earn less than a cumulative of 2.0 GPA in CCP courses, or withdrawals from 2 or more courses in one academic term. So it's very important to keep your GPA up, or you'll be on probation. And while on the probation for CCP, the student may only enroll in one CCP course, and they may not enroll in the college course in the same subject in which they earned a previous grade of a D or an F. So, you really have to be careful not to get on probation and to work hard to get the best grades possible on your classes. Expenses. So what are the expenses for College Credit Plus? At public colleges or universities, there will be no cost to students or families for the tuition, including the required fees and books. So that would be at public colleges and universities. If you want to take a class at a private college in Ohio, students may be charged a small cost per credit hour. It just depends on the college, and if you have those specific questions, you'll need to talk to Ms. Sidlak about that, and we can get in contact for that. Some optional expenses are the student's responsibility. So, for example, like parking and transportation, if there's any expenses with like a parking pass because you have chosen to take classes down at Ohio State on main campus, then the parking pass would be your responsibility to cover. So the high school would cover all of the tuition and fees and books for that course. However, they will not cover things like parking and transportation. Student athletes should be very aware of the OHSAA requirements. Know that summer term for CCP courses cannot be used for determining eligibility in the fall, and they must be passing the equivalent of 5 classes in order to be eligible. So please familiarize yourself with those rules if you are a student athlete. Will the course credits transfer? So for transfer credit, most courses will transfer from one Ohio public college to another Ohio public college. Students should check with the colleges that they are interested in going to in order to confirm that the courses they want to take or are taking are transferable to the new college. You can also visit transfercredit.ohio.gov for transfer information. That's a great resource for you, but generally speaking, any Ohio public college to another Ohio public college, it's going to transfer with no problem. Where it gets questionable is when students are wanting to go to an out-of-state college and take their CCP credits with them. In my experience, it typically has not been a problem at all for our courses to transfer out to an out-of-state college, but it is something to be aware of, that it's not guaranteed that every college in the country is going to accept that transfer credit. So just do your research, talk to the college you want to go to after high school. They're able to give you recommendations on courses that you can maybe take depending on what you want to major in, and they would be able to kind of give you a good estimate as to if certain courses will transfer or won't transfer. So what does being college ready mean? It is more than just being academically ready. So consider the emotional and social transition and college expectations. So this is like one of the biggest issues that students have that want to do CCP. Is your student mature enough to handle the college content? Please remember that college content is generally made for those 18 years old and up. If you are uncomfortable with your student who is 15 or 16 or 17 or younger, if you are uncomfortable with them being in a college course surrounded by college students that are also 18 plus, they could be any age really, then you may want to consider waiting to do the CCP program. So please take that into consideration. I know I personally would not want my young student child to be in a college course before they were ready for that content. So just think about that. If you have questions, please let us know. We are happy to answer them. But just know that the content is very different than what it would be at a high school, where high schools are prepared for high school students. Is my student an independent worker? So how independent is your student? They really need to be very independent in order to be successful. They need to be able to be self-motivated, to work on their own. They need to be able to figure out problems, because there are a lot of things that come up with navigating technology, with navigating different personalities with professors, and a lot of communication between different people at the colleges and different people at the high school. So really making sure that they are independent and able to manage all of the responsibilities that comes with that. Also, do they advocate for themselves? So with parents not being able to contact the school and get the answers that they need, or the college, to get the answers they need, the student really needs to advocate for themselves in order to be successful. So think about, can your student, can they ask adults questions? Can they write emails efficiently and effectively, and clearly communicate the problem? And can they solve the problem if they are given instructions on how to do so? Because the parents cannot fix these problems sometimes. And can my student navigate the demands of college? So there are a lot of things that go on with college. Can they balance the home life and the college life? Can they balance high school and college? Maybe a job in college? There's a lot of different things that go into that. So make sure that they are able to navigate all of the demands that happen in their regular life, plus the college stuff. There's a lot there. So once again, if you have any questions about, if your student's ready, then feel free to reach out to us, and we will certainly be glad to kind of help you think through that process. Consider their time management and organizational skills as well. So we all know that college is not easy, and it does take a lot of time management in order to get everything done, and it requires you to be super organized. So the risk versus consequences. CCP does increase the responsibility for students' own learning. The possibility of reduced opportunity to participate in high school activities is also present. So because they have the commitment to their college level courses at the college, they may not be able to participate in everything that they once did at the high school, because there simply is not enough time to do so, and the college classes may conflict with things going on at the high school. So just being very cognizant of those problems that may arise with your specific student. There is also increased time needed for travel to and from the college, if that's the route your student goes, and a lot of increased time for studying. Increased costs if the student fails to complete a course, or if a student fails to return the books. So in high school, if a student fails the course, most likely they would just have to retake the course because they need it to graduate. However, if they fail a college course, they will be responsible for paying for that college course. So the range of that cost can vary greatly. A 3 credit hour course could cost anywhere from $200 to upwards of $600 or $800, depending on where the course is taken, how much the tuition is, and so on. So it's very, very important to make sure that your student is ready for the high school or for the college courses. There are also differences in the high school and the college calendars. The colleges sometimes can start before high school goes in session, or they'll start after high school goes in session, depending on the semester. So students also must be very organized with that, because they don't want to miss the start of their college class while they're at the high school. So very important to stay up to date on both calendars and to kind of know what's going on. So you can visit the CCP website for additional resources at ohiohighered.org/CCP. Michelle Miller Owens is our Columbus State advisor. Most of our students choose to go to Columbus State. Her email is listed there. It's mmillero@cscc.edu, and she's very helpful, and she's been with us at Canal Winchester as our advisor for Columbus State for quite a while. The Columbus State CCP website is listed as well. You can also just do a Google search for that, and they have lots of forms on there. They are still working on updating for next school year, so please just keep watching their website if that's where you plan on signing up to do CCP through. And what are the deadlines? So there are two different ways that students can participate in CCP. So way number one is you can take CCP courses at CWHS. So as I click through, the way number one is going to be in the green slides. So that way, if you need to come back and reference it, it will hopefully be a little bit easier to find what you need. And then the second way that you can participate in CCP is to take CCP courses at a college or university online or on a college campus. So those are the blue slides. So I guess think about your way if you're going to do the CCP classes at the high school, or if you're going to take the CCP classes online or on campus. And some of you might do both. If you are doing both, you will need to follow the steps for both. So go ahead and follow the steps for both, but you do not need to turn in duplicate forms. So either way, you still just need to turn in one intent to participate and so on. Okay, so we're going to go to the green slides for taking CCP courses at Canal Winchester High School. So step one would be that the student will turn in the intent to participate form and then the consent form. So under the consent form, you can see that students must apply to Columbus State as a CCP student to get their Cougar ID so that the consent form can be completed. So you turn in both of those forms at the same time, as well as the textbook agreement form. You can turn in all three of those to Ms. Sidlak by May 1st, 2020. If you turn it in after that date, you will not be allowed to participate in College Credit Plus for the entire school year next year. So if you are kind of on the fence as to if you're going to do CCP or not, go ahead and turn in those three forms. It does not obligate you in any way to actually take the courses. However, it will at least make you eligible to take them throughout the school year next year. So it's kind of like a safety net for you. Like I said, if you turn them in after that date, you will not be allowed to participate at any point next school year. The reason is that May 1st is a statewide deadline, so it is not a deadline that is set by the high school. It is a deadline that is set by the Ohio Department of Education, and if students don't turn in that form, then they can't participate. Or those forms, I apologize, those three things, then they are not allowed to participate next school year. Step two is request the CCP course that you want to take during the CWHS course scheduling time period for the 2021 and 2022 school year. So when the counselors come into the students' classes to talk about scheduling for next year, students will get all the information for all the courses offered at the high school. And then they will, I believe they will enter their the courses they want into Power School, and then that's where they'll request to take those CCP courses. So make sure you get your paperwork in first, and then this step two is going to be request the course through the high school. Now remember, these are just for taking the classes at the high school. Step number 3 is that students must complete their placement test or send in qualifying ACT or SAT scores to Columbus State by June 1st, 2021. So June 1st is the deadline to get your placement scores in to Columbus State. Students will complete the Google form shared by the Canal Winchester High School Counseling Office with the testing information by June 1st. So that Google form will be available on the high school website under College Credit Plus. There's a whole page on there. Google form is where you will submit those test scores to us. We don't need the paper that Columbus State will print out for you. We don't need that at all. We just need you to report to us that you submitted the test scores and what the score was. So you also must, if you choose to submit an ACT or SAT score, you must send those scores to Columbus State. Your counselor at the high school cannot send those scores for you. So make sure to log into your ACT or SAT account and have those scores sent to the college that you want them to go to. The colleges no longer accept the scores from the high schools. The link, once again, to this Google form will be located on the Canal Winchester High School CCP page. Students, one other note for this, students must be signed into their CWHS email to complete the form. So a parent can't do that for them or anything like that. It would have to be through the student's email. So the student would have to be logged in order to complete that form. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the blue slides, which is option 2, and that includes taking CCP courses at a college or university. So that would be online or on campus at a college campus. So step 1, students will turn in the intent to participate form and the consent form. So in order to turn in the consent form, students must apply to Columbus State as a CCP student in order to get their Cougar ID so that you can complete the consent form. And then if you are planning to attend any other college besides Columbus State, please email Ms. Sidlak. Her email address is listed right there, and it's on the high school website once you have actually applied to a different college. So if you're a student that wants to take courses at Ohio University or Ohio State or Mount Vernon Nazarene University or Cedarville, there's a lot of different options. But if you are a student who wants to take college classes at any university that is not Columbus State, please email Ms. Sidlak. That way we know that you are in the process, because that will allow us to track you better and to provide you more support. The third piece of paper that you would need to turn in is the textbook policy form. All 3 of those can be turned in at the same time, and they will be sent to Ms. Sidlak by May 1st, 2021. That is a strict deadline that we must meet. So her email is listed there again for you. You can drop them off at the counseling office, or you can take a picture and email them like you did for me last year. Either way is really fine, as long as we get them by May 1st. Step number 2, students will send their placement tests or send in their ACT, SAT scores to the college that they want to attend based on the college requirements. So students will follow the college's admission process for getting into the college. So it's very important that you look at the requirements for getting into the colleges that you want to go to, because they do use those same standards for CCP students. And you will want to follow that college's process for submitting those placement scores. Step number 3 is that if students plan to take CCP courses at Columbus State, they must turn in the course registration form to the Canal Winchester High School Counseling Office. So you can take that to Ms. Sidlak, and she will be able to process that form for you. You can also email it to her if that is more convenient for you. Either way is fine. It doesn't matter at all as long as she gets it. So registration for fall 2021 courses opens on April 19th. So that's earlier than what a lot of the paperwork is due, but if you get your paperwork in and you're ready to register, then you certainly can register. So the earlier that the students turn in the registration form, the better chance they have to get into the courses that they want to get into. It also helps them plan their fall schedule, and it helps the counselor kind of see what they're interested in taking and make sure that the graduation requirements are all in line and ready to be met. August 27th, 2021 is the last day to turn in the registration forms. So classes might be full by that point because you've waited so long. So basically students have from April clear till the end of August to register for classes. So please don't wait until August 27th. Ideally, you should have all of your classes for fall registered by June 1st, when that placement score is due to be submitted. That makes it easier for everyone, and the counselors can make sure your schedule is right, and there's just less confusion in the fall. So remember that counselors are not available in the summer. So if you want to submit your registration form in the middle of July, it will not be turned into Columbus State until the counselors come back in mid-August. So please just be mindful of that to turn in your registration forms early, and do not wait until the last day to turn them in. Okay, so if you need to review the last few slides, please do, because they are kind of set up like a checklist for you, but we will go ahead and move on to the textbooks. So textbooks are provided to students that are taking CCP classes at Canal Winchester High School. So we have all the textbooks needed for that. Students taking online or on-campus CCP classes should check with Canal Winchester High School, the Library Learning Commons, first before purchasing textbooks for the classes with using the voucher from Columbus State. So it is your responsibility as a student to check with the library, the LLC, in order to see if we have your textbook that you need, and you can check it out, or to see if we don't have it and you can use the voucher to get it. Once you check out that book or purchase it using the voucher, you must return it after your course is finished. So that book is not owned by you. It is owned by the high school, and it is expected that you return it. If you do not return it, you will be charged for the fee of the book. So some things to consider. The intent to participate form must be turned in by May 1st. Students should not wait until the deadlines to turn things in. They can start applying and testing as soon as possible for next school year. It is always better to start turning things in sooner rather than later. It helps keep things straight. It helps there to be less confusion. And as I said in the previous slides, you can turn in all the paperwork at one time and get it all checked off the list for you. Students should check their college and their high school emails for important info and updates. So you will still receive information through your high school email from the high school and probably from your high school counselor. However, the college will send you information from your advisor, and the professors and all of those people at the college will go through your college email. So it's very important that you are staying on top of both emails. That way you don't miss anything important at either place. Students taking CCP courses are considered college students, so CWHS staff cannot communicate with parents or guardians without a signed FERPA waiver. Okay, so we cannot communicate with you in regards to the college courses without that FERPA waiver on file at Columbus State. And that is the same policy as Columbus State has, and we have to abide by it because the students are considered college students once they enter the CCP program. Students should follow the steps on the CCP checklist, which will be in packets on the website. And you can access that checklist in the blue and green slides, depending on which checklist you need. So the information will be on the website for that. Things to consider for scheduling. Only students taking CCP classes on campus or online are permitted to arrive early or late at Canal Winchester High School. So it's very important that if your student wants to take a college credit plus class online or on a college campus, they are permitted to arrive or leave early if you want to, and that would be on their schedule. They can't just like do that randomly every day or anything. It would be on their schedule on Power School. If a student is only taking a class at the high school for College Credit Plus, they would not be allowed to arrive late or leave early from the high school. Your counselor can kind of work with that or work through that with you as the scheduling process takes place as far as what you and your student would like to have happen. Students must be in courses both fall and spring semesters if they want to arrive late and leave early all year. So we can work that out as we do scheduling, but once again, just students must be in those courses in fall and spring. They cannot just sign up for a couple college courses in the fall and continue to be able to leave early in the spring. They would have to sign up for additional courses in the spring in order to continue to leave early or arrive late. Chromebooks. Students can check out a CW Schools issued Chromebook for College Credit Plus courses, and they have to return it at the end of the school year. So this would be just like the Chromebooks that all of our students are offered. Some college courses require different programs that don't work on the school issued Chromebooks. The student will be responsible for finding a computer that will run these programs. The technology that the high school gives out, if it doesn't work for the specific type of class you're trying to do, then you need to make sure you have access to whatever type of computer that you need. Sometimes this happens in like art classes or graphic design, things like that. It doesn't happen typically in like English classes or more general classes. Continuing CCP students. So if a student participated in CCP last year or last school year, which is the 2020-2021 school year that we're currently in, they must complete all paperwork for the 2021 school year. So just because you're in the program this year, you still need to complete all of that paperwork. It's very important to complete the paperwork. Students will turn in the intent to participate form, the consent form, registration form, textbook form for next school year as well. If a student is in CCP this year and wants to continue, they must turn in all of the paperwork again. Continuing CCP students do not need to reapply to the college or take new placement tests. So they just need to turn in the forms to the high school, but they don't need to reapply to the college. So you can visit the CWHS website. On the left-hand side, it'll say College Credit Plus. If you click on that, it will look something like what is pictured here. There will be packets and resources on the right-hand side, a little chart on the bottom that is a summary of the green and the blue slides. a little bit ago, and there'll be information periodically posted on there. So take a look at that. That'll have the information that you need for next school year to make sure that everything is squared away for you. For questions about next school year, please contact the Canal Winchester High School CCP coordinator, Lee Sidlak. Her email is listed right there. It's lsidlak@cwls.us. Like I said, she will be taking over for me with the CCP program. I will still be helping her out periodically with different things. So if you have questions about next year, please continue to email her, and she will get right back with you. That is all the presentation that I have for you today. I know it's really long. It's a lot of information. So if you have any questions, please let us know. We are happy to help. It's a big process. It's a big decision, but we are here to help you and to help walk you through the process so that your student can take advantage of this great program. You can always wait until later, as far as when your student is a junior and senior, or you can go ahead and do it when they are younger. It just depends on every individual student. But we are happy to have your student in the program, so let us know what we can do to help you if you need anything. All right. Thank you.